You mentioned, and I think even Satya mentioned, that Agentic ERP could eventually become the norm, where users tell the system what they want done rather than clicking through the screens. For a company implementing today, how should they be thinking about this 5 to 10-year horizon when making platform decisions?
So we talked about the MCP server earlier, MCP
Yeah.
2.0 for finance and supply chain management. And that is, again, going to be the key to agentic ERP as Microsoft is defining it. And frankly, in some ways, as other other ERP organizations such as SAP and Oracle are going to define it. So I think part of the challenge that you see is because Microsoft has put so much time into this MCP server and will continue to push it. And let me be clear, Satya didn't say he thinks it's going here. He says, this is where we are taking it. It wasn't I think this is where it's going to be. This is what I have all of the resources that are going into this working towards, is to have this agentic ERP. Organizations that are going into it now, need to consider their platform. Again, the platform's not going to matter in an agentic world. It's going to write to the correct back end and things of that variety. But the challenge you're going to run into is, while Microsoft is putting some agentic work into BC and they're working very hard to make BC a solid platform to be able to migrate into, especially for all of those people on Great Plains or a lot of those people on Great Plains, they are not putting in the same type of resources from a agentic standpoint as they are into F&O. So I truly feel that eventually F&O is going to be their agentic champion, so to speak. It's going to be the back end everybody's going to go to. Nobody's going to know it because everybody's going to be working through that agentic front end in the long term. But it's certainly a consideration to have because there'll be a migration from BC into that FNSCM structure as time moves forward. Now that could be probably is several years down the line. Having said that, as fast as AI is moving, for all I know, it's going to be next week. They tend to move very quickly with that stuff, but it does, in my mind at least, put an expiration date on how long Microsoft is going to continue to put resources into BC once they get that agentic front end working. And for organizations that are implementing right now, looking for opportunities to get your people doing agentic work with the agents that Microsoft has out of the box, creating your own agents, which can be very simple actually with Copilot Studio, and working in that way where instead of figuring out I need to fill this piece of information into this box and this piece of information over here and click this button and do that, your people are figuring out, okay, I need to pay this vendor on this invoice, and you tell the system to do that, and it goes off and creates all of those transactions. And rather than your person who is probably very integral to your business doing a lot of this, let's be honest, grunt work, it's data entry work, typing the information in a particular way, they're able to move on to the next thing, whatever it may be. Every organization I've ever been in has people that can't get to some piece of important work, something that they feel is going to take them to that next level. These agents are an opportunity. It's one of the reasons that we originally started doing integrations. It's one of the reasons that we do automations, is to take away the mundane work from people. And agents are just a ramp up of that activity. It's scaring a lot of people. They think their job is going away. Don't be as afraid of that as you think they might be. People thought the same thing when computers came out. And we all have jobs still. The job will change, but the knowledge that you have is going to allow you to get into agents. And organizations need to realize that. They need to start bringing their people into that. They need to take those first steps while they're implementing to do the change, since you're doing change already anyway. Make the change and start moving there.